Hey, y'all. It's Alita, Cheryl, hi, Carolyn, and Kayla's going to step in here in a minute, bring in the goods. So, it is Wednesday, and Wednesday is anything you ever want to know about keto. You never know. You never know. You never know what will come out of the mind of Cheryl, and I'm just here to facilitate what we're doing. So, it's my favorite thing, though. We're cooking with Cheryl. Whoop, whoop.
Cooking.
But it's cooking for me. Remember, we have two very different definitions of cooking. Cooking for me, this is, if you can make it in the cubby hole, that's what we're going to say.
Right.
If you can make it in Alita's cubby hole, that was one of the things that we were talking about the last time we did this was that, well, first of all, down below, there's a link to our private group. We'll put the recipe for what we're doing today in that private group, and there's also a link for if you want some samples of ketones, there's a link there that we can get you some more information. But one of the things that we talked about last time we were cooking was that a lot of the perception of cooking keto is that it's expensive. Right. It's expensive. And so we kind of liked the idea that, hey, this is like our dorm room. Right. If we can cook it in Alita's dorm room, because we're simple people around here, if we can cook it in your dorm, then you can, that's not an excuse. That is an invalid excuse for, I can't do keto because I don't cook.
It gets expensive when you try to recreate recipes that are non-keto, your favorites, and you're buying all these crazy random ingredients for one recipe. So I tend to kind of stay away from that.
Me too. Yep.
So
because that's exactly where the expense comes up. Oh, I'm trying to make this one recipe for two people.
Right. And a lot of them will have like something like xanthan gum, and it's like $7 for a thing this big. I've never bought it in 2 years. I've just figured out
how to make it work.
Either that or I've made things that called for it. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to do some research and see what it was. But to me, it just never seemed like it was for what I was the small amount I was going to use. It didn't seem like it was worth the investment.
And y'all, that's that thing in that group that she does. That Cheryl does so well is in that ketones because adulting is hard. She teaches us all these hacks. Hey, don't be the person that's being suckered into, hey, you have to buy the $7 xanthan gum to make this one thing one time.
Right.
There are hundreds of other options out there.
Sure.
So tell me what we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about a little. I know we're making fat bombs, and then are these fat bombs?
No.
Not fat bombs.
Well, they are
kinda.
In a sense, but the nice thing about them is that they're almost like a candy.
Okay.
They're a no-bake candy or cookie. They're kind of like mimic an Almond Joy the way I make them. And you can work with it. It's really just a method.
Of how to do this.
Of how to do this, and you can. The sky's the limit as far as the nuts or.
Okay, so as we're talking about it, let's talk about. And one of the things that's nice about this is that this serves for your sweet treat.
Right.
I mean, because let's not lie, I'm a woman, and I like food.
Right.
And there are particular times of the month that I really like sweet, yummy, good
chocolate
things.
Or something.
And then there's Clay who just likes chocolate all the time. Right. So this can fit both ways. So let's go through, and we're also going to do a little bit of fasting. I know we're making treats, but we're going to talk a little bit about fasting as these are setting up a little bit, and we're also going to talk about just general wellness benefits of ketogenic dieting.
Right.
The ketogenic lifestyle. It goes back to a diet. We put a bad name on a diet, but a diet is just a restriction of something. It's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right. A diet is just simply what you're eating.
Right.
And stuff.
It could be a healthy.
So
it could be a healthy diet. Right. So let's see what you got. What do you got there?
Well, these are basically just the Lily's dark chocolate baking chips. They have stevia sweetened. They have a little bit of soy, which I've never found to be hurtful to me because it's such a small amount. It's really just to keep them from all sticking together.
Right, and they are gluten free.
Yes.
This particular chocolate is gluten free.
Right. And they're actually on sale right now at HEB they have a coupon for $1 off, so they're $5.99 a bag. I've already made a batch out of this bag. This one bag will probably make 3 batches because it's 9 ounces and it takes about a half a cup, which is about a 3 ounce.
And what kind of it
has erythritol and stevia. So
it's got 8 carbohydrates total. 4 of them come from fiber, and then
3 come from the erythritol. So it's 1 carb.
1 carb, y'all. Woohoo! Now, don't get me wrong. It's some serious. I'm gonna not stick my hand in there so I don't corrupt it.
I'm eating them. I don't care.
Y'all, and if you're a dark chocolate lover, it is just as dark as it gets.
Online, they do have the milk chocolate ones. They're a little higher carb count, but me personally, I like the dark.
Throw some sea salt on that sucker.
Yeah.
And that's good.
When I make the almond bark that I've made and put in the group before, I always use my grinder and put a little bit on the top.
Yum.
Just because it makes it really good with the nuts. So basically, we're just going to start with a half a cup, which is about 3 ounces. of the chocolate.
So we're just gonna put the 3.
Yeah, you can see that's the second portion out of there, and there's 9
There's
ounces.
probably more.
Half a cup's about 3 ounces.
So this will make you 3 servings out of there, out of this one bag.
And this is the coconut oil.
Okay, this coconut oil is in solid form. It's always going to be in solid form, y'all, except for when it's Houston
highly
hot.
processed.
Yeah, and it's if you're processing it and you're getting it in
straight out of the pantry. So
it's still solid.
Sometimes
it'll liquid up, like if it's really, really humid in my house. I mean, and we're in the dead of summer, sometimes it'll liquid up a little bit. But if you're buying coconut oil and it doesn't look like this in a solid form, you are buying processed coconut oil.
A lot of times it's blended with canola or some other type of oil in order to keep it emulsified and keep it in that liquid form. So this one came from Sam's. This one came from Sam's. And it was probably under $10 for that monster thing.
And my dog loves this coconut oil. So, I know, what a random.
Yeah, so basically...
How much are you putting in there of the coconut oil?
1 tablespoon.
1 tablespoon.
So we're going to start with that. We're going to stick it in the microwave.
College cooking.
45 seconds.
Or just Alita cooking,
and
right?
And if you're not sure how your microwave processes things, you can start with 30 seconds and stir it.
Okay.
The one thing I'll say is when they come out, and I'll show you, they're not going to be like melted like you would think. They're going to look whole, but when you start whisking them...
We'll get Caroline to come show us.
Yeah. So, but anyways, just to talk a little bit, the reboot, today's the last day to grab yours.
Okay, I've got one. Don't I? To show? Yeah. So this is what the new reboots look like.
Yeah.
And so say that again, this is the last day.
Today's the last day to buy it online or to get it
from Cheryl. Cheryl does a bulk order to save y'all shipping. So this is the last day. I'm going to open mine just so we can talk about what's in it. I know we've done this before, but this is the last day to order these reboot kits. And when does the next challenge start?
September 15th.
September 15th.
So it'll be not this Sunday, but the next.
Okay.
It comes...
and how do you want them to let you know that they're interested in participating in this reboot?
There is a link in the group page.
Okay.
That talks about the reboot. It has the link to learn more about it with the video that corporate has provided.
Okay.
And there's also a PayPal link, and if you just shoot me over the $84, which is basically without
the cost of the kit.
My cost, and to get it to you.
So will you show them that, Carolyn? Look.
So when it comes out, you can see it just looks like this. You can see the coconut oil has mixed. But when you start whisking, that's when they... Yeah. So that's one of the big things is a lot of people tend to overcook them because they think it's going to look like this. But it's not going to look like that until you actually whisk them down. That's the soy lecithin, trying to get them to hold their shape. Okay, so that if you made something like chocolate chip cookies, they wouldn't melt all in your dough.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That's basically what that works like. So then that's literally the bulk of the cooking phase.
Woohoo!
45 seconds in the microwave.
45 seconds in the microwave.
Right. And I like to do it that way. I like the nutso because it doesn't have peanuts. It's cashews, almonds, Brazil nuts. It has flax seeds, chia seeds, hazelnuts, pumpkin seeds, and sea salt in it.
Really? And where does this come from? I've never had
Costco.
This. Costco.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna step to that side and show them. So this is that next product.
Careful.
It's slimy. I almost dumped it out. So that's your next product there.
You can use almond butter. You can use any kind of nut butter you want. I just like this because it has like a crunchy texture.
And I like flax seeds. And so I don't necessarily love the texture of flax seeds unless I'm looking for texture. But I do like it in my nutty things just because and it's fibrous. So it's good for your gut.
It's just 1/3 of a cup of that.
Okay.
That we're going to put in there. So anyways, back to the reboot. This is my 20th one. So
20 reboots.
Yep, 20 months in a row. This will be my 20th, so I'm running a special. I have 16 people who've committed to it already.
16?
16.
Nice.
If I get to 20, then I'm going to give away, for everybody who participates, there's going to be a drawing for a box of 20 ketones. So a whole box of ketones.
That's a whole box of ketones. That's a month's worth, or 20 days worth of ketones. That's good.
So
that's a good one,
That's
Cheryl.
my thing to get. And I believe I have 16 people already that have bought or ordered through me. So you're just going to whisk that together.
So why are we doing this fasting again? What is the? Can you talk a little bit about while you're stirring and while we're getting ready to prep them up here? Tell us why it's important to fast.
Well, even though you like let's say me, who eats a pretty clean ketogenic diet, I still have stored glycogen in the liver because we still create enough to keep, there are parts of the brain that you have to have glucose.
Right.
So our body will create it, or we'll get it through some incidental carbs and veggies and stuff like that. But it's really good to dump all of that out of the liver, because when you dump all of that out of the liver through the fasting process, then it's called autophagy or autophagy, depending. Dr. Andy always says autophagy. She's from Canada.
She's from Canada. Okay, yeah.
So basically, that's depleting all the glycogen out of the liver. So when you do that, then your body, it starts turning over dead cells. It starts going through and saying, okay, I've got all these, not just the glycogen in the liver, but throughout my body, I've got all of these dead cells. And I can either, at that point, the body decides, is it worth repairing, or do I just get rid of that cell? So it's kind of like, why you exfoliate your face, but you're basically exfoliating your cells on the inside of your body. It builds the immune system. Anytime you can rest the digestive system is a good thing, because it replaces all the gut microbiome that you need to have a healthy intestinal tract.
Right. So
I always feel good. A lot of people struggle with it, and I get that.
She's like, a lot of people. That's Alita. So tell me what you're adding there.
These are the slivered almonds I get at Costco, and I just like them because it's already done. It's about the same price per ounce. I'm going to actually add 1 cup of the almonds, and then you can do 1 1/4 cups of almonds, but I'm going to do 1 cup of almonds and then 1/4 cup of, this is the unsweet coconut from the baker's aisle. It's just coconut flakes. By the time you do coconut and fiber, no carbs.
Oh, nice.
0 carbs.
And that is not true of all coconut, y'all.
No, you have to make sure you're go into the baking aisle and getting the unsweetened, because the other has like 8 carbs.
Yeah.
I probably, had I been doing this at home or had a little forethought, I probably would have thrown this on a pan and stuck it in my toaster oven just to toast it a little bit, just because the flavor may have come through a little bit more.
Right.
But again, it's not necessary. So there's that. We're going to stir it up. So getting back to the...
Yep. So let's talk about, so one of the common questions that I hear and I see people talk about fasting is, well, I don't need to pay you $85 for a reboot kit. I could just fast with water alone. You can fast and put yourself in this process. So talk to me about that. Talk to me about what makes water fasting, and which is something we used to do. It's something that people that are in our uplines used to water fast.
Sure. So
what makes a water fast different than a structured prove-it fast like that we've been doing?
Okay. Well, number one, the ketones and the broth that have ketones, but what comes in the kit with the broths and the ketones, you're getting some fermented L-leucine, which is an amino acid that's necessary, and what it does is it keeps the body from cannibalizing itself to find that glucose we were talking about. So it preserves that muscle mass during the fasting process. You're getting just enough calories where you stay in the fasting state. You're getting the essential amino acids so your muscle does not break down.
Right.
You're actually maintaining that muscle mass. So that's a big deal, because a lot of times with just a water fast, in order for the body to have some energy sources and stuff like that, it's going to break down muscle tissue.
And it's different for different people. I mean, doing it with a structure and having something to drink and something to do is still extremely hard for me, because food is my thing, y'all. I use it as my coping mechanism for everything.
There's actually studies that show that the actual physical act of chewing releases endorphins in the brain.
Oh, it has to.
It does. And so that's why usually by the second day, I'll run through Sonic and get just a cup of ice and eat it with a spoon. And simply chewing on that will help.
These are the reasons you should be in our group, because I'm mentally having issues. I'm mentally starved, because a lot of times I am not starving. At 48 hours on a fast, I am not starving. But mentally,
right.
And I am going to do this. I am going to do this. I know. I've been saying this for a long time, but I have them here, and we're doing this one on the 15th. Because I want to see what it looks like with y'all. Right. So go ahead.
The pills themselves, there's an AM and a PM. They've gotten rid of the Keto Calm teas. So there's a PM that will help you sleep, and I love it, because a lot of times during the fast, I do get a touch. I usually sleep like a milk drunk baby,
right,
to be honest. But for some reason when I'm fasting, I don't know if it's the heightened metabolism and energy, I have a little bit harder time going to sleep. So that will help with that.
Yeah. And so those are each in there. This is a Signal OS 8. So this is...
And there's plenty to keep you through the next few days.
Okay.
After you finish the reboot.
So
This is just real quick, this is just a size 40 scoop from the restaurant supply. You can literally take 2 plastic spoons, scoop some in, and use the other to scoop it off. You don't have to have this
I know
scoop.
we're going back and forth, but so all she's done is she set it up. She's setting them up into these cupcakes over there. And then we've cheated a little bit. Kayla's going to bring us chocolate that we've already set up. We put them in the freezer just so we could speed the process up for Facebook Live.
Literally, you saw how fast that I made this. You could double batch this. You could triple batch it and make 36 of them out of one sack of the things.
And how many carbs are in what? I mean, what is, can you give me a, no, actually don't.
1.5.
Is it 1.5 carbs?
1.5 carbs.
That information, the actual macro ingredients that are on there, the actual macros that are on there, how many carbs, so that you can log it into MyFitnessPal, it'll be over in our group, y'all. It's how we can provide. We're just trying to gather data and give you more personalized instruction over there. We're not going to bombard you. I mean, you can always turn on and off your notifications, but that group, we're a little protective of that group because it's our group, and we want to provide you the best information over there in that group. So the actual macros that for each one, Cheryl will work up and give us over in that group. Is Kayla over there yet? Not yet. That's okay. So in your kit, you get. So talk to me a little bit through the timeline here. We're gonna have multi. So this reboot kit, look, it's pretty simple. Look, they must know that we are simple peoples. It comes with instructions, just like this, re-engineered. So it'll tell you this is Sunday. So this is going to be the 15th, 16th, and 17th, and then the 18th. So
the magic of TV swapping.
Oh, look, TV swapping. We're gonna come back to this, but this is the first thing that comes in your box. So now they're set up.
They're pretty set. I mean, typically in the freezer, no, they're fine. Typically in the freezer, probably about 15 to 20 minutes in the freezer. And I like to put them in these little cups simply because then you can put them in an airtight container. And
then you can eat your chocolate.
Exactly. And you can just kind of eat your chocolate. They're a little gooey, but...
Gooey's good.
That's good.
And I sprinkle some sea salt on there, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So a little sea salt on the thing.
Or Himalayan salt.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Himalayan sea salt.
Yeah.
Himalayan sea salt is what we're talking
I
about.
have no shame.
The yummy stuff.
But, yeah, they'll set up a little bit harder.
They will.
And then you put them in and keep them in the freezer in a bag. Or in a little container.
And then you just throw them in a baggie once they're all frozen.
Kayla needs one because she helped.
So seriously, that's just as... I mean, the nice thing about these as opposed to, number one, they're
my payment.
For probably, I'd say, maybe $7, you could make 36 of these.
And this is...
As opposed to, like, the Slim Fast, you do it on...
Right.
Or whatever. That's like, you get maybe 14 of them and they're like $7 or $8.
And they don't...
Not only that, a lot of those, they have preservatives
Yes,
to keep them stable so that they don't melt when they're in the package at the store, because you know none of that's refrigerated at HEB.
Oh no, right. So it's got a shelf life. It's got a shelf life of 8 months, y'all, to a year.
A lot of them have maltol in them, which the maltol is what
makes
puts
your stomach.
Puts you on the toilet. I mean, let's just be honest. That's why they tell you, like with the Russell Stover candies. And I challenge.
That's good though. It's got enough texture to it that it's because when I've done original fat bombs where you're just mixing the ghee and then the coconut and then the coconut oil and the chocolate, it's a lot. Like I mean, it's like you're eating a mouthful of chocolate. I mean, a mouthful of oil. You're kind of like.
Right. And they have a good amount of fat, but no, because what the thing is the fat is coming from the nut butter, the coconut fat, and the nuts. It's not coming from like a dairy source or just a overwhelming, like a lot of MCT that can have a problem with people's stomachs. So you're getting the fiber in there as well as the fat.
And that's the important thing.
So it's just a balance. I mean, it's a whole unprocessed food, and you saw it just literally took a few minutes.
Eat.
I already had one.
Oh, you already had one? Oh, good.
I'll bring one to Chris.
Yeah.
So
that's good. So let's go back to our that's a great. We put those back in the freezer too, Kayla. You want one, Carolyn?
Want one, Carolyn?
You want it now or after we're done filming?
I'll get it later.
Yeah.
okay.
So let's go back to our reboot kit. So first of all, there's going to be in that group, in our private group, Cheryl does a another group that just does people that are on the fast right then. And Prove It as a whole does a group too, so that you're getting people across the nation. So in your instructions here, you have, in your box, it's going to come like this. Mm-hmm. You have these things. So it says Sunday night, join the Facebook group. Hey, step one. Sunday, eat regularly during the day.
Yeah, don't go load up and think I'm going to binge a bunch. It'll make it harder on the digestive tract during the reboot. Just eat what you normally would eat. Don't look at it as oh my gosh, I'm going to go 60 hours without food. I need to intake a bunch of junk. If you do that, it's going to be tougher. Let's just say it's going to be more.
It's tough. Like fear of hunger. Oh my God, I'm going to be hungry. Okay, so I really am, y'all. But I'm just like, I'm just keeping it real. Mm-hmm. So then 30 minutes before you go to bed on that first night, on that Sunday, I actually haven't done anything that's ketogenic dieting. That's Prove It dieting or anything. I've just eaten my regular food. Now I'm going into 30 minutes before bed. I'm going to take this Signal OS PM. Right. So what makes what's in this?
It has, I'd have to look and I'll post the ingredients on the other, but it basically has this root, I can't say it, ashwagandha root or whatever, and the black pepper extract. And those are the two things, and the valerian root, that actually help. They're a natural, holistic way to help to help with aid sleep.
Okay, to aid sleep.
Okay,
to aid sleep.
Instead of the Keto Calm teas that have these ingredients,
Oh.
They have this because, and I loved it. I mean, I could get the teas down, but I just felt like I could do it the first night. But what ended up happening the subsequent nights is, let's say I had this when I got up, and then I had a broth for lunch, and then I had this in the afternoon, and then I had another broth for dinner, and then I had a bottle of water between each one of these, so to stay hydrated. So what ended up happening was at the end of the night, by the time it was time to drink the tea to go to bed, I just was full. It was like, I don't want anything else sweet, liquid, and stuff.
I would say that's one of the most positive things that I've seen out of this is that I had to say, I've tried it twice. Mm-hmm. The teas, they were so sweet. Right. Some people liked them, some people didn't. But the more and more I thought about it, it was like Cheryl said. Number one, it was really sweet, and number two, by nighttime, I had just had all I wanted to drink. I mean, there was, and then combine that with it kind of being really sweet. So I was glad to see that. You mean just swallow this PM pill? Great. So day one, Sunday night, all you're doing is taking your PM pill that's going to help you go to sleep.
Right.
Then you're going to do exactly what Cheryl said. Upon waking, the next morning, you're going to take this Signal OS AM, this AM, and your a Mitoplex, right?
That's your liquid.
Oh yeah, this is liquid gold right here, right?
Yeah.
And
take your two signals.
And your two signals. And one fruit. So I drink this every morning already.
Right.
So I'm not adding anything to that except for this Signal OS.
And the Signal OS has the CMed 100, which is that thing that actually, it's one of those things you're not going to feel it because you cannot tell in your body like what's happening on a cellular level. Mm-hmm. But this is where we start the process of getting those cells to talk to each other.
Okay.
And to determine what's good, what's bad, what needs to flush, what can be repaired, and stuff like that.
Is that C100?
Is that CMed 100.
And see, this goes back to the difference in Prove It is that they're continuing to work on new technology. Y'all, that is new research coming out, and they're on the forefront of innovative technology for biohacking your body.
Exactly.
For using ketogenic lifestyle to biohack your body. Right. So you had that in the morning. Mm-hmm. Then by lunchtime you're going to get a broth, and this is good, y'all. And it's good. It's not bad. The thyme one's really good, and the other one is French onion. They took out the.
It just depends. If you get something in there, there's some of them that have the salted caramel, which I prefer cold. I can shake it up and drink it. It tastes like a caramel, like macchiato type thing.
Yeah.
I just drink it through a straw for whatever reason. I have more success with a straw.
So talk to us about that.
If you get something that you don't like, let me know, because I buy these broths because I use them daily, or pretty much almost daily, aside from the reboot.
Because
I can switch out any flavor.
I mean, it
has ketones.
It also has
that fermented L-leucine.
Yep.
Right here. It has the BHB. It has the beef broth and the chicken broth.
And the collagen.
And the collagen.
Right.
So
skin, muscle detox.
Right.
Collagen is everywhere, y'all. If you're not looking into collagen and you're not drinking it, I can promise you, if you go back and look at pictures of, and I know you get this same thing, if you go back and look at pictures of Cheryl and I and other people that we see do this, my skin is better now. What, hands down, I get compliments on my skin all the time, and I very rarely, I put on mascara, but that collagen that's in the ketogenics, in ketones in general, it is a natural skin preserver, y'all.
Yes.
Like, it is what helps. I get it all the time. Hey, you've got great skin. Ketones, y'all. Ketones, y'all.
It is.
So, then you're going to, at 3 p.m., again, instructions are in here, you're going to have another nap.
That's why they put the caffeine free in, just because some people, like I said, I would probably switch out and drink caffeine free all day just because that's what I normally drink and I have some on hand. So that's another swap I can make.
Not me.
A lot of people I swap, I'll give them my charged and they'll give me their caffeine
Perfect.
free. So I can do that.
And then at night you're going to have a better broth, and then you're also going to have another PM.
30 minutes before bed.
You're going to repeat that the next day.
Right.
So it's really only 2 days awake.
Right.
The
first
fasting.
time you go to sleep, the first 12 hours, or let's say
you slept.
You
Woohoo!
slept.
That's the easiest fasting
So
I've
you
ever
get
done.
up, you do this,
2 times.
you go to sleep again.
Right.
You get up, you do this, you go to sleep again, and when you get up the next morning, then your it's done, and they've given you this Keto OS Pro,
Okay.
which has the protein in it and the MCTs, and this is super good to reintroduce the fat and protein back into your system so that you don't get a stomach ache. A lot of people will try to introduce a lot of solid food that morning, and they end up where they did fine the whole time during this, they end up in the bathroom because of that.
Okay.
So this kind of eases you back in to that morning. It technically breaks the fast because it has the protein and the fat in it and 80 calories. It's debatable as to whether it actually breaks a fast, but whatever. Right. Technically it does. But it's a super good thing for that morning. You get up, you can have it, and then it's going to make you feel full.
Okay. And so do you usually wait till lunch to eat?
Typically I do 72 hours and eat at dinner. After
so you just go ahead.
But that's me. That's, Richard will drink this. Richard will drink this, and then about noon, he'll make maybe 3 boiled eggs and some little salamis and some cheese a little bit later, and then probably some either a pickled asparagus.
And so you don't eat it all until dinner.
Yeah.
That
but
night.
That's typically just because I'm not hungry. If I was hungry, I'd eat.
Right. And my friend Brenda just did it just water only, but I'm gonna be real honest, she's mentally much stronger than I am. Like, I'm just not.
My only concern with water only is that your body will cannibalize itself. It will break down muscle mass to create the glucose that's necessary because you're not ingesting any type of protein.
And that's the beauty of this is that
this has the protein in it.
And this has been formulated to continue to provide your body the essential nutrients without kicking yourself out of a fast.
Exactly. These are 45 calories. 7 grams of protein and 1 carbohydrate, which at 45 that is not going to stop the autophagy or autophagy or however you want to say it. That is not going to stop it. But with the protein and the L-leucine, it's going to keep your body from cannibalizing itself and losing muscle mass.
And talk to me about skin tightness in this word that you keep saying,
Autophagy is just basically the liver depleting all of the stored glycogen. We all store glycogen in the liver because as complex beings, the body automatically stores a little bit in the liver because of our ancestors, thousands of years ago.
Because it's smart, because it's a smart body.
That's why they say you can go 2-3 weeks without food, but you have to have water. You can go 2 or 3 weeks without food, just like babies when they first are born, they're in ketosis. They have stored glycogen in the liver. Okay. So that's the same thing. It will give you just enough glucose, or enough, it will slow release the glucose to get the brain functioning. The problem is as evolved species, we will store and store and store and store. Okay, so basically that spikes blood sugar, insulin response, all that.
And it's stored in fat.
So that's what will happen is once you have plenty in the liver of stored glycogen, then it's going to start storing it as white adipose tissue, subcutaneous fatty tissue.
That's
so If you're clearing out the liver will start storing any of your excess glucose back into the liver. It's like getting rid of everything so that your liver can do it, and it will store fresh, new, and not store it as fat on the body.
And not store it as fat. And see, that's one of the reasons that I want to do it, because like we've talked about, I'm kind of down to the lowest weight I would like to be as I'm trying to bulk, but I still definitely have this just fat storage that's from just years and years and years. So I've really been watching my friend Brenda do this fasting. I've watched Cheryl do it. I'm a fan of how the new kit looks. that sounds bad? Because I mean, I've told y'all this before when we talked about this. If I don't like it, I won't drink it or eat it. I just can't. I just won't do it. I'll gag. I'm a gagger. I'm like, yuck, I can't do it. So I'm really liking this kit. If you are interested, again, this kit's $85. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I don't know if I'm going to do it on the 15th when everybody else is doing it, but I'm going to do it before the end of September to get it done. I will probably got to do it before then.
We have 12 weeks till Thanksgiving, and we have 16 weeks till Christmas. So I've told a lot of the people that I'm very comfortable with and have good, honest, open relationships with, what do you want to look like in your holiday pictures?
There it is.
You've got to start now.
There it is, y'all. You got to start now, because nothing is there.
And not only that, if you've got 12 or 16 weeks in, you've reset your minds. Your mindset is there. You can have I had a dessert plate last year. It was a dessert plate. It had a little bite of everything that I wanted. It was not
because
keto.
you've already put in the work.
That's right. Because I put in the work.
Because a lot of times what we see in this diet cycle that we see it happen, we see, oh God, my Christmas is here. I have 1 month. I'm going to eat nothing, and I'm going to exercise until I'm just losing my mind. I'm going to lean down 10 pounds, 15 pounds. Ta-da, Christmas, I did it. And by January 8th, it's all back on.
Right.
It's all back on.
Right.
Because you didn't work on the beginning part of training your body. You did the diet cycle. Right. You're really working on training your body to give it as a whole.
Right. People often say, oh, it's what you eat between, how do you want to look in your New Year's outfit? And people are like, oh, it's not what you eat between Thanksgiving and New Year's. It's what you eat between New Year's and Thanksgiving. That's where your difference comes in. Getting that mindset shift, getting those things, even if it's not ketogenic, at a caloric deficit, that's the beauty of this. So many people are like, I can't do a ketogenic diet. And I'm like, you don't have to. That's a big misconception. The whole benefit of the ketogenic diet, being in ketosis, is in this pack. So
it's right here, y'all. You get to drink it. I can't be keto. I can't be keto.
You don't have to. If you're at a caloric deficit, but you're drinking these, you're going to have the best of both worlds. You're going to be in ketosis.
Right.
So, and it's one of those things too we've talked about. As you become fat adapted, then adjusting your macros so that you're not eating a bunch of fat anymore, because you don't need that. Because my body, part of my fat macro is what I've got stored.
Oh, for sure.
Instead of what I'm eating.
Oh, for sure.
That's a good tool in the beginning to keep you feeling full, to keep you from being hungry, to get you some success. But once you get closer and closer to that goal weight, you have to, I say every 15 pounds, you need to reevaluate your macros. And
Cheryl is fantastic in that group. It goes back to that group. Cheryl, I've been sitting at these macros for this long. I'm stuck. I don't know. I feel like I'm not getting any leaner. Actually, I feel like I'm putting back on some weight. Well, you may be putting on muscle if you're working out.
Right.
But let us help you with those macros. Now, I'm not going to. Don't get me wrong. I did tell somebody. I told a couple people the last week. If you can't bother to log your food for 2 weeks before you come and see me, I'm not here to drag you to water and shove your head in and make you drink. But if you're committed to, I want to track my food for a little bit so I can actually learn how to ketogenic diet.
Right.
Because as smart as you are and as many diets as you've done, you do not know how to get that much fat in there, because I've done every diet and I would never have been able to look at the macros that I eat now and ever have thought, oh, holy wow, I had no idea what it took to get that much fat or that much protein, and how you use that in the day.
Right.
Because at first I was like, I don't get to eat any food. Yeah. I don't get to eat any food. And now I'm like, God, I have food all day long that I can eat. It's just the right food. It's that green, some of that green stuff that Cheryl's on me about all the time, that vegetable stuff.
Yeah. Yesterday was Taco Tuesday, and I made chicken fajitas on our little George Foreman grill.
Yeah. And
Richard ate the Susalia corn tortillas, but I didn't. I had taco salad.
On a salad.
That's just because I can eat more of that and feel better than I can eating the tortilla.
And I'm a creature of habit, so Carolyn taught me. They taught me how to make a wedge salad, and and you know me, I'll eat that same thing for the next 6 months, and I'll be like, okay, I'm ready for a new salad. So y'all, you have to figure out what works for you.
I can tell you what I eat. It's real hard for me to give you a meal plan.
Right.
Because that's going to depend based on what you like. If you tell me what you like to eat, I can help you. If you can be repetitive, like you said, I can help you.
But I'm not in the meal plan writing business. That's what I tell people all the time. I'm not. If I don't want to write meal plans for y'all, because a meal plan is a fixed answer to a specific timeline. We want to teach you how to do it every day, all day. We don't want you to be dependent upon a meal. Right. Oh, I need a new meal plan. I need a new meal plan. No, you don't.
I have tons of, like I said, I do tons of recipes, tons of ideas in that other group. Here's what I'm eating tonight. Here's what I had, and that kind of stuff.
Get in that group, y'all. Get in the group. It's a fast growing group. You made your goal. You wanted to be over 1,000. You made your goal.
I did.
So that's good. I'm very proud of you for that group and where we're going. The knowledge that's in there is irreplaceable, y'all. You have to. She's a walking encyclopedia of information. That's what makes us work so well together. Is she's very knowledgeable. She's got a pharmaceutical background, y'all. So I mean, things that I'm like, I don't even know what that is, Cheryl.
Pharmacology.
I'm like, you need vitamin D in your life. I didn't even know you needed that.
Right, and not only do you need vitamin D, but you need to eat it with certain things, or you're not going to absorb it. We went through that whole.
And I feel like I'm a smart person, and these are things that I don't know, y'all. And I've been in the diet culture for my whole life.
Right.
For my whole life, because I've been overweight my whole life, and food is an issue. So we appreciate y'all. Mm-hmm. All fun cooking with Cheryl, and anything you can do in Alita's dorm room is always fun. It's our little dorm cubby over here.
Literally 45 seconds in the microwave.
Put it in the
20 minutes in the fridge or freezer.
Done.
That's it.
Done.
And it doesn't have, like I said, all that other stuff that's
it had
preservatives.
No aftertaste. Like, I haven't even had anything to drink.
And that's
a big thing.
It doesn't have that aftertaste because that is the preservatives to keep them from melting when they're sitting on the store shelf at H-E-B.
And I'm a texture girl. Right.
They slap keto, and they're able to, FDA is able to allows them to slap keto on it if it meets macros.
You're right.
If it meets, it doesn't necessarily mean the ingredients are the best ingredients for you.
Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power, y'all. So we appreciate you, and we will see you next week. Who knows what we're doing, because that's how we roll. We'll talk to you then. Bye.